solving a formula for a specified variable. In this topic, we're going to talk about some formulas and how we might be able to solve for a certain letter of the formula or certain variable. Here are some common formulas that you may or may not have seen. The first one, D equals RT. You will work a lot with this formula in the future. This stands for distance equals rate times time. For example, here's another one. This deals with geometry. This would be perimeter equals 2 lengths plus 2 widths. This would have to deal with the perimeter of a rectangle. Here's another one that you may have seen. I equals PRT, or interest equals principal times rate times time. If you were doing an investment type problem, you may have run across this formula. Well, this is a nice formula. Let's look at this one. What if we asked us to solve for the variable t instead of for the variable d? Well, what does solve for t really mean? Well, what it really means is get t by itself on one side of the equal sign. So we have to figure out, how can I get t by itself? Well, we can simply divide both sides by r, and we get t on this side is equal to d over r. Let's look at that second one. I'll rewrite it. Perimeter equals 2 lengths plus 2 widths. Let's pick a letter. How about we pick W? I could have very easily have picked L. But we want to solve this equation for W. Again, what does solve mean? It means get the W on one side of the equal sign, everything else on the other. So we have to figure out, how can I get the W's on one side? Well, why don't we go ahead, I'll rewrite the problem. Why don't we start by moving this term to the other side? Well, to do that, we can simply subtract both sides by 2L. Now notice, these are not like terms. I have P's and I got L's, so I cannot combine those. So I'll just get P minus 2L on the left. Well, those cancel, and I'm left with 2W on the right. Now, we were asked to solve for W, not 2W, so we have to get rid of this 2. Well, we see that this is 2 times W, so to get rid of the 2, we do the inverse operation of multiplication, which is division. So we get P minus 2L all over 2 is equal to W. Okay. Let's try another example. Okay, here's our equation. AX plus 4y equals 12 minus ky. Now that may or may not be a famous formula. I don't know, I made it up. But notice, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different variables. I've got a's, x's, y's, and k's. The problem asked us to solve for y. Now again, we want to ask ourselves, what does that really mean? Well, to solve for y means we want to get y alone on one side of the equal sign, everything else on the other side. So let's rewrite the problem, and we'll try to figure out a way to get the y's together. Well, here's a y here, and here's a y here. So I'm going to start by moving the ky term to the other side. Ax plus 4y plus ky equals 12. Notice the ky is canceled there. Now, I want to solve for y, which means I only want y's on this side. So I'll move the ax to the other side by simply subtracting. The ax's are now gone on the left. Now this could become a difficult step. We have to figure out, how do we get 1y over here? Well, if we remember the distributive property, and if you don't remember the distributive property, you may want to review the distributive property tape. But let's see. If we remember the distributive property, I can pull out a y. I have a y in common here. And I get 4 plus k. Now notice I've got my 1y here. And if I want to get my 1y by itself, all I need to do is divide both sides by 4 plus k. These cancel. Y is equal to 12 minus ax over 4 plus k. You may want to review that process again. This is kind of a difficult process, but the more you practice, the better you'll get at it.